So, first things first, what is Galileo exactly? A lot of people think of it as a database. It is sort of, it's actually a collection of about 400 different databases, all containing research information, different kinds, different formats. And most of those databases are subject specific. So, what we're going to do is look at a couple different ways to get into Galileo because 400 databases is quite a bit. So, I'm just going to talk about two different ways to kind of get into using Galileo as a resource. So, here we go. We're going to start with, again, with the library webpage, just like we did last time, and then we'll go from there. All right. I mentioned a couple of different ways to get into Galileo. And so the first one I'm going to show you is this tab right here on the library webpage. It's called Discover Galileo. So what you're doing when you use this particular tab to get into Galileo is you are searching all 400 databases in Galileo all at the same time. So you are going to get, initially, you're going to get a lot of results in your search, which is good. But then it becomes very important for you to figure out how to narrow your search and how to make it more specific and more relevant to what you want. So I am going to go back to our keyword from the very first video, and we're going to go with communication anxiety just as a sample topic. So I'm entering that in the search screen, search bar here, and we're going to hit the search happens. And we should get probably, yeah, I was going to say we are going to get results in the millions. So we have over 200 or 2 million results, excuse me. And so one of the things we can do to narrow those results down, and there are many, many different ways to make this more specific, is we could add more keywords, which we can try in a minute. But I want to draw your attention over to this side of the screen to where we have these different kinds of tools to help control your search. And so you see a bunch of these different things. I'm not going to show you all of them. There's too many here. The first one, though, I am going to show you, and this is especially important for research in the sciences or in the social sciences, and that is the publication date. I guess you could call it a slider. It's a kind of a range tool, and they make it very easy for you. You can just take this slider, and because we are dealing with some databases that go back a long way, we have some information from the 1700s, which is way older than what we need for our purpose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this tool way up, and I'm going to limit our date range to about, let's say about 20 years. See if I can get it. Yeah, we'll say 20 years. And 2001, that's close enough. So what is happening now is just limiting that date range should reduce our results a little bit. And it did by about maybe 400,000 items. So that is one tool that you can use. Another tool in Galileo, because we are talking about research articles, we're not talking about books, we're talking about journal and magazine articles, is another tool that we have is we can make sure that the information that comes back to us in our search is going to not just have the titles and authors of the articles, it's going to have the articles themselves in our listing, and some of them are here already. But what you can do is if you go over again on the left to this little full text box and we click the box, that is going to limit our search results even more. So now that has cut about 600,000 items out of our search, just removing articles that do not have the full text links. And so that has narrowed our search quite a bit. And you notice if you scroll down, all of these have to do with some form of communication anxiety. So we're on the right track. It's just going to be a matter of finding specifically what aspect of communication anxiety that we're looking for. And as we move forward, I'm going to add some more keywords to bring our search down, the numbers down a little bit more. But I do want to talk about something called scholarly research or scholarly articles. And that is a specific type of resource that you're going to need for this class and for other classes. So let me just talk a little bit about what a scholarly article is and how to find it. So very briefly, what is scholarly information and where can you find it? Scholarly information is published research. It is written and produced by scholars like your faculty members, and then it is submitted to publications where they do a peer review process where other scholars review this information, review the research, and come to a consensus as to the credibility and legitimacy of the article and the information that it contains. And that's where the term peer review comes from. And you can find scholarly information and scholarly articles in Galileo. That is specifically what Galileo does. Now I am going to show you how to find scholarly information in Galileo, and it's really surprisingly easy. All right, so here we are back in Galileo, back on our search page, and I've showed you a couple of the tools that you can use to limit your search. And as far as finding scholarly information and scholarly articles, it's remarkably easy in Galileo. So all you need to do is, again, go over to your menu items on the left-hand side, and right where it says scholarly or peer-reviewed journals, all you need to do to limit all of your results to nothing but scholarly research is just click this box right here. So, and again, this is going to limit our results even further. You remember we were at about 1,300,000 results. So once I click this box, this is going to cut out newspaper articles, news magazines, things like that, all of which are perfectly good, but they're just not scholarly information. So now that I have inserted this next limiting tool into the search, now that has cut our search almost in half. We're at 800,000 articles, scholarly articles. And so if you want to, for example, make your search even more specific, we can try something like communication anxiety and career. And I'm just guessing. Let me just see what else that's going to do to our result numbers. So that's going to cut the results way down. We went from 800,000 to 150,000. So you see with this combination of different tools, between the keywords, the specific keywords strung together, the menu tools on the left in Galileo, you can really specify what your search is going to look like. And so now let's find out how we access the article, and then how specifically how can we cite the article if we end up using it in our research. So to pull up the article itself or to pull up information about it, you can actually either click on the title or you can hover your cursor over this little icon over here. What that's going to do is pull up what's usually called an abstract, which is a summary of the article itself. Most of these articles can be anywhere between 12 to 25 or 30 pages. So this gives you a nice way to analyze what the content is to make sure that it is actually relevant to what you're looking for. So then all you need to do if you want to find the actual article is you have your full text links right down here. HTML is just formatted like a web page. PDF is just going to look like a printed, like a print journal. So same article, same content. It's just going to look a little different. I'm going to click on PDF. So here is your article. So it is a 26-page article. So, and this is going to be focused research in the International Journal of Business Communication about communication anxiety or apprehension as far as careers go. So here is the article. You can print this off. You can email this article to yourself. Most scholarly research is not going to be entertaining reading, but it is going to be extremely full of really good information. And as I mentioned, and as I showed in the previous video, there is a citation tool in Galileo, and that is this list of this row of icons off here to the right. And I believe it's this one here. We click on this, we should get a citation tool. So yeah, it's this little document over here. Here is our citation information with all these different types of styles. So depending on what your style is that you're using, this right here, say, for example, you're using APA, here is your APA formatted reference for this particular article. So it becomes very, very easy for you to not only find scholarly articles, but also to use them and cite them in your papers. So that is one way, that is the Discover Galileo way to search all the different databases. So we're just going to stop there, and then I'm going to show you a slightly different method for looking into Galileo. So an alternate way to get into Galileo and to search a different part of Galileo is actually to find and search specific databases. So just to show you how to get into one of the communication databases, we're going to take a slightly different path. We're going to go and click on the Galileo logo tab down here. Then you're going to go up to the right hand corner and click on all databases. The next step is we're going to look for the subject list. So we go down to the subject tabs, and we'll have to click on more to get the longer list, and we're going to click on communication and mass media. And this is what pulls up the list of communication databases. So these can all be used to search for the subject of communication. And I think the best one and my favorite one to use is this one at the very top, Communication and Mass Media Complete. Now, initially, you'll notice that the interface looks a little bit different, but basically, functionally, it's pretty much the same. You have the space up here to enter your keywords. You have your full text and peer-reviewed scholarly article tools down here. And basically the search, we can replicate the search and just to show you what happens. So I'm going to enter communication anxiety, hit search. Because we are searching a specific database limited to one subject, our list of results is much smaller. Again, if we limit our search to full text and also to scholarly journals, that is going to pull the list down even further. And so from there, the methodology for actually accessing the article, finding information about the article, and using the citation tool is exactly the same. So that is just another alternate way to use a different part of Galileo and to do a more focused type of searching.